Hello, welcome once again to the live stream. As usual, if you are tuning in when it is no longer a live video, you can take a look at the description. There'll be a timestamp to where the quiz questions begin, so you can skip all this waffle at the beginning. But yes, what I like to do during the first 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes of the stream, is I like to spam the link around to a few places, inform people that it's happening on the Facebook page, etc. So I'll do that now, and we'll get started at about 35 past, as usual. Classic Facebook is going away soon. Oh no! Hello, two people who've tuned in already. Let me find my page. The only issue I have with the new Facebook is it's not super obvious how I make a new event on the page. Hey, Carmen. So I'm not just whinging because it's cool to whinge about new things. I'm whinging because I genuinely can't figure out how to do something important with the new design. Anyway. Right. Create post. Create event. There it is. Way down the page in the middle of nowhere. Brilliant. Okay. Well, I want to create a post. Well, we had 3 people. Now we only have 1 person. Write something to Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz. Yes, that's what I want to do. I was hoping I might have a tissue or something. I'll go and get one. Back in a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, here we are back again. All right, let's get spamming stuff on the page before people get upset for not spamming enough. Hello, John. Hello, Pierrot. Okay, so I've posted it. I'm just wrestling with the new Facebook design. I'm willing to, give them a fair go. I just have to figure out how it works now that it's just become basically mandatory. So what I want to do is post a new post, which I've done, but I also want to reply on the event, which is there. So I can do that. It's easy enough. Good. I'll post it here as well. As usual, we'll start at about 35 past, so about 6 minutes from now. I'm just spamming the link around. Feel free to get yourself a drink or a snack or whatever you want to do. Right. And one more place. Okay, done. Now I just need my questions. How's Dropbox done its thing? Why is Dropbox being annoying? Do the thing. Okay, we'll do it the hard way. Cool. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll get started soon. Virtual Aussie Pub quiz. Okay, cool. Why does this not have a post in it? Weird. Don't know. Anyway, just wrestling with Facebook. That's all right. Seems to be working out. Possibly have done it twice, but we'll see. Nope, that looks good. Okay, cool. Hello, Meg and Paul and Kim. Hello, 9 people who've tuned in. My terrible, messy room. What am I drinking tonight? I'm drinking Cointreau y Tres. It's a Spanish liqueur, Liquor 43. It's one of my favorite things. It may be the best tasting thing in the universe. Certainly a contender. It's sort of orangey, but not. It's a lot sweeter than, say, Cointreau. It's delicious. I recommend it. If only they'd sponsor me. I wish. Right. Got my questions. Got my Facebook page open. Got this happening. I'll make the questions big enough that I can actually read them would be good. Cool. Yeah, just over ice. Like a lot of those orangey liqueurs, it's nicer if you put it on ice and then wait for it to cool down. What type of Cointreau? I prefer like good old regular Cointreau. Nothing wrong with that. But they do occasionally release a blood orange version, which is really super nice. Hey, Norel. Hello, related Matt. Hello, Daff. Hello, Joan. Hello, Simone. Nice to see some regulars and some new people tuning in. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes, about 7:35 AEST, whatever that is in your time zone. Yeah, so blood orange Cointreau is good, but this is actually not Cointreau. It's called Liquor 43 or Cointreau y Tres. It's a Spanish orangey thing. Tell me. It's not very rare and exotic. You can get it at all the normal places. Can you freeze Cointreau? I don't know. Why would you want to freeze Cointreau? Liqueurs tend not to freeze that well because they tend to separate. The alcohol comes out because it doesn't freeze as quickly as the water, and you know, always chilly. Well, you just put it over ice. If you are going to drink Cointreau, my pro tip as a long-term Cointreau enjoyer is pour it over ice, similar to this, and then wait for the Cointreau to turn cloudy. It's like a cloudy, milky white look to it, and that just sweetens it up a little bit, stops it from being quite so tart. And then over the course of the evening, of course, it'll heat up and it'll become, yeah, the taste will change as you go along. Will be interesting for the different states and territories. That's true. It will be end of daylight savings very soon. First weekend in October, probably. I have a hockey tournament this weekend, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully we don't get the times all wrong. I have a bit of a personal horror story about daylight saving changes. My girlfriend at the time very kindly, we went to World Superbikes at Phillip Island, and she very kindly bought me a pit pass, like a pit walk pass, to walk along the pit wall and see all the racers and everything. It was either MotoGP or World Superbikes. And that night, the night before it, the daylight savings ended or started or whatever, so we were an hour late turning up for the pit walk, and we couldn't do it because the pit wasn't open anymore because people were getting all their bikes ready. So that was a bit sad. So I'm a bit paranoid about those kinds of things now, and I tend to always aim for the most pessimistic side. I don't know why it's so complicated. Anyway, you've probably seen that YouTube video about time zones being, about daylight saving being this confusing, terrifying thing. Anyway, enough of that. So if you haven't played before, this is how it's going to work. We're going to have 3 rounds of trivia. And this isn't the type of trivia where you need to be the fastest in the comments or anything like that. You're basically just playing against yourself. So just keep track of your own answers. And at the end of each round, I'll give you the answers. You can mark yourself. You can share your score in the YouTube comments if you like, or not. That's fine. Or on the Facebook page or wherever you like. So anyway, we're going to have 3 rounds. The first round is 20 questions, relatively easy, not super easy, but relatively easy. And then I'll give you the answers. Round 2 is 20 questions, less easy, more difficult. It's always hard to tell, but generally more difficult than round 1. And then I'll give you the answers to those. And then we have round 3, which is our very difficult / silly / trick question round, where we have 10 questions. And if you get any points in that round, then you're doing pretty well. And I give you the answers at the end of that round, and then we have a couple of who am I questions, and that's the end of the night. It's very simple. So like I say, you don't need to type the answers into the comments. You don't need to be super fast. If you do want to comment in the YouTube comment section, but you're having trouble, someone contacted me over Facebook today actually saying that she wanted to comment, but she couldn't. I think YouTube requires you to have a channel before you can comment on live videos, to avoid spam bots or something, I guess. So just go into your profile on YouTube and make a default channel, and you will be able to comment. Nikki says, that was me. Hello, Nikki. Good to see you figured it out, and you are now able to comment. So yeah, if you can't comment, try going into your profile on YouTube and making the default channel. Is that what worked for you, Nikki? I think it was Elated Matt who discovered that's what we need to do. Anyway, we're now 2 minutes past our nominal start time. So we may as well get started. Nikki downloaded the app. Okay, maybe that's one way to do it as well. Simone says frozen or something. Don't know what that means. YouTube's not telling me that my link is bad, so I assume it's not me. Anyway, let's get started with round 1. Question 1, which is, what is the capital city of Indonesia? One of our closest neighbors. In fact, I think it is our closest neighbor. I'm okay now. That's good to know, Simone. So question 1, round 1. What is the capital city of Indonesia? Question 2, which telecommunications company takes its name from a combination of the words telephone, data, and voice? Stephen wants it noted that he is the defending champion until the end of round 1. That's right. I think you won by half a point last week, didn't you? Well, maybe you'll be the defending champion and you'll continue on. Who knows? This could be your run of luck. So round 1, question 1 was, what is the capital city of Indonesia? And question 2 is, which telecommunications company takes its name from a combination of the words telephone, data, and voice? Pretty easy, round 1 so far. Question 3, which error message number is displayed when a web page cannot be found? So if you browse to a web server and the web server responds, but the page you're asking for isn't there, what error number does it display? So question 3, which error message number is displayed when a web page cannot be found? Sad dinosaur error. No, sad dinosaur error is when your link is down. That's a different error. Question 4. Which Australian Aboriginal rock band, I can probably stop the question there, but let's keep going. Which Australian Aboriginal rock band, active from 1985 to 2013, was fronted by 1992 Australian of the Year, Mandaway Yunupingu? I think I did all right pronouncing that. Which Australian Aboriginal rock band, active from 1985 to 2013, was fronted by 1992 Australian of the Year, Mandaway Yunupingu? What is the name of the band? They had a pretty big hit that I remember. Probably had a few, but I remember one in particular. I'm not going to do a bonus point for the name of the track because they may have had multiple number one hits for all I know. Question 5. Which company produces the PlayStation range of gaming consoles? Question 5. Which company produces the PlayStation range of gaming consoles? I think coincidentally the PlayStation 5 is just about to come out, has come out. In the news anyway. Hopefully the sound's working okay. It's gone all quiet in the comments, which is usually a good sign. People thinking and scribbling, possibly frantically Googling. Question 6. Which road planning word is from the French for bottom of a bag? His knees. Which road planning word is from the French for bottom of a bag? Excuse me. Coronavirus. Question 6. Which road planning word is from the French for bottom of a bag? Thank you, Narelle. I'm having terrible deja vu about these questions tonight, but the two I've checked I have not asked before, so maybe a brain playing tricks on me. Question 7. Popular TV crime drama The Wire was set in which US city? 7. Which popular TV Question 7. The popular TV crime drama The Wire was set in which US city? I still haven't seen The Wire. Everybody tells me it's amazing. It's like literally the greatest thing ever made in television and changed television forever and rah, rah, rah. And I think it's only about 60 episodes, so I should probably watch it. It's 5 seasons. Anyway, let me know if I should watch The Wire. I've heard it's very good. But more importantly, which city is it set in? Speaking of cities, question 8. 25 minutes from Rockhampton, which large town is the main population centre of Queensland's Sapphire Coast? So question 8, 25 minutes from Rockhampton. Which large town is the main population centre of Queensland's Sapphire Coast? Pretty sure there's also a Sapphire Coast in New South Wales. But I want to know which large town is the main population centre of Queensland's Sapphire Coast. Question 9. Oop, this thing's happening on the webpage. What's going on Facebook? Good. Nobody's saying they can't find the link. That's good. Question 9. Which puppet was a co-host and comic sidekick for Daryl Summers in the long-running TV show Hey Hey, It's Saturday? Question 9. Which puppet was a co-host and comic sidekick for Daryl Summers in the long-running TV show Hey Hey, It's Saturday? I should probably clarify there that it's not any of the kind of random puppets that would pop up. You know, there's a pretty major puppety co-host, right? Someone who also hosts the show alongside Daryl Summers. Yes, so question 9. Which puppet was a co-host and comic sidekick for Daryl Summers in the long-running TV show Hey Hey, It's Saturday? I probably need to come out and say it. It's not Dickie Knee. Dickie Knee's not a co-host. He's I don't know, he's just a little interjector. Right. Hopefully that one makes sense. It's not too vague. Anyway, question 10. What is the main herb used in traditional tabbouleh? Question 10. What is the main herb used in traditional tabbouleh? Don't know why I've got the word traditional there. Are there other types of tabbouleh? Tabbouleh is mostly made up of one particular herb. What is that herb? Question 11. Which national flag consists of a green background with a yellow diamond enclosing a blue circle with a white band across it? So which national flag consists of a green background with a yellow diamond enclosing a blue circle with a white band across it? It's the national flag of which country? If you do have any trouble hearing questions, I will ask at the end of this round if you need any repeated, and I can repeat them then. Or if you tuned in late and you missed a few at the beginning, just let me know in the comments. Geography and spelling, I think, Pierrot. Question 12. According to the song, which house in New Orleans has been the ruin of many a poor boy? Question 12. According to the song, which house in New Orleans, in New Orleans, has been the ruin of many a poor boy? Vexology. What's vexology? I know lexology would be words. Vexology would be speaking? Don't know. Hello, Caroline. You're tuning in about halfway through round 1. Question 13. The Great Barrier Reef is in which sea? Question 13. The Great Barrier Reef is in which sea? Vexillology is the study of history, symbolism, and usage of flags, or by extension, any interest in flags in general. There you go. I think I did know that, but I'd forgotten it. Would have been a good trivia question, which I may have actually already asked. Control F, Vex. Yes, I did. On the 20th of July 2020, it was the third question in round 3. There you go. And I'd forgotten it already. Okay, what are we up to? Question 13 was the Great Barrier Reef is in which sea? Question 14, the Diablo, the Murcielago, and the Huracan are all cars produced under which brand? Question 14, the Diablo, the Murcielago, and the Huracan are all cars produced under which brand? I thought you were going to keep naming topics every time I read out a question and saying that was also your worst enemy, Pierrot. But you only did 2 in a row. Question 15. The MASH character, Margaret Houlihan, had which nickname? You remember the TV show MASH? Are we going to have a bonus point for MASH? All right. For a bonus point, tell me what MASH stood for in the title of the TV show of the same name. So question 15 is, in the TV show MASH, the character Margaret Houlihan had which nickname? And for a bonus point, what does MASH stand for? M-A-S-H. Mike Alpha Sierra Hotel. There you go. Let you think about that one for a moment. All right, question, what are we up to? 16. Which eerie sounding musical instrument is played using the body's electrical field? Question 16. Which eerie sounding musical instrument is played using the body's electrical field? It's kind of using the instrument's electrical field and your body's effect on that. But anyway, I think you know which one I'm talking about. The eerie sounding musical instrument, which is played. You can play it without touching it. You can touch it if you want, but you can play it without touching it, just using your body's electrical field. What's the name of that instrument? I believe it's named after the person who invented it. Question 17. What does the German or Dutch word Berg, B-E-R-G, Berg, mean in English? Pretty simple question. Question 17. What does the German or Dutch word Berg, B-E-R-G, mean in English? Maybe think about where you've heard it used in English. Right, nothing much happening on the Facebook page. That's good. If you do want to be informed of future events, go to the webpage Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz. Sorry, the Facebook page Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz, and you'll be informed of future events with a varying degree of advance notice. Question 18. In espionage, a sleeper agent is also sometimes referred to as which animal? Question 18. In espionage, a sleeper agent is also sometimes referred to as which animal? Question 19. Campanology, C-A-M-P-A-N-O-L-O-G-Y, campanology is the study of what? Question 19. Campanology is the study of what? Well, we know it's not flags, because we now know that's vexillology. But instead, I want to know what campanology is the study of. And question 20. The band The Village People has had various members over the years, but they have always been portrayed as 6 main characters. For half a point each, please name the 6 characters. Now, there's a little bit of flexibility in this. Some have sort of 2 names or 2 roles, so we'll see how we go. But yes, question 20 is the band The Village People have had various members over the years, but they have always been portrayed as 6 major characters. For half a point each, please name the 6 characters in The Village People. And I'll let you think about that for a moment. Let me know if I need to repeat any questions. Maybe Caroline tuned in quite late. Let me know. I can quickly race through them if needed. Hello, ads. Ads would like 10 and 11 repeated. Question 10 was, what is the main herb used in traditional tabbouleh? Question 11 was, which national flag consists of a green background with a yellow diamond enclosing a blue circle with a white band across it? My phone is rudely beeping for reasons that are not clear. Oops, it is related to this. Someone's messaging. Question 13 was, the Great Barrier Reef is in which sea? Now, why is that not showing Why is the Facebook page not showing me new comments on the Facebook page that I'm actually looking at right now? Gail would like to have question 1 and 2 as they were a bit late. No worries. Question 1 was, what is the capital city of Indonesia? And question 2 was, which telecommunications company takes its name from a combination of the words telephone, data, and voice? Okay, I think that's pretty much all the repeats. So let's get started with the answers. So here we go. The answers to round 1. Question 1 was, what is the capital city of Indonesia? The capital is Jakarta. Jakarta, Jakarta. Question 2, which telecommunications company takes its name from a combination of the words telephone, data, and voice? That's pretty simple. It's Vodafone. VO from voice, da from data, and phone from telephone. Vodafone. Question 3, which error message number is displayed when a web page cannot be found? That is, of course, 404. 404 not found. Question 4, which Australian Aboriginal rock band was fronted by Mandaway Yunupingu? That is Yothu Yindi. Yothu Yindi. I remember they had a big hit with their song Treaty. Possibly others that I don't recall, but I remember Treaty being particularly massive. It was quite a cool dance hit with like traditional dance stuff going on and didgeridoos and the sort of stick drums. It was cool. Question 5, which company produces the PlayStation? That is Sony. Question 6, which road planning word is from the French for bottom of a bag? Excuse me. That is cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac, which is cul-de-sac. I guess cul means bottom of sack, bag, bottom of bag, cul-de-sac. And it makes sense. If you think about a road, goes down, ends, you can go into it, but you can't go through it. Kind of like a bag. Anyway, question 7, popular TV crime drama The Wire was set in which US city? That is Baltimore. Baltimore in the US. Baltimore in Maryland? Is that a state? Answers on a postcard. Question 8, 25 minutes from Rockhampton. Which large town is the main population centre of Queensland's Sapphire Coast? That is Yeppoon. 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 Question 9, which puppet was a co-host, kind of the keyword, co-host and comic sidekick for Daryl Summers in the long-running TV show Hey Hey It's Saturday? That is, of course, Ozzy Ostrich. And Narelle says, yes, Maryland. There you go. It was deep in my brain somewhere. So the answer to question 9 is Ozzy Ostrich. Question 10, what is the main herb used in tabbouleh? That is parsley. Question 11, which national flag consists of a green background with a yellow diamond enclosing a blue circle with a white band across it? That is Brazil, the national flag of Brazil. Question 12, according to the song, which house in New Orleans has been the ruin of many a poor boy? That is, of course, the House of the Rising Sun. Question 13, the Great Barrier Reef is in which sea? The Coral Sea. Makes sense. It's got a sucking great big coral reef in it. It's called the Coral Sea. Question 14, the Diablo, the Murcielago, and the Huracan are all cars produced under which brand? That is Lamborghini. Yes, they're owned by Audi and thus Volkswagen, or however it all works in the big world of car companies, but they're produced under the brand Lamborghini. Question 15, which the MASH character Margaret Houlihan had which nickname? Her nickname was Hot Lips. She was Hot Lips Houlihan. And the bonus point was, what does MASH stand for in the title of the TV show? That is Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. MASH. Set in the Korean War. And I think the standard trivia thing about that is that it ran for longer than the Korean War did. Anyway, question 16, which eerie-sounding musical instrument is played using the body's electrical field? That is the theremin. Theremin, the theremin. I'm not going to do a theremin impersonation. You kind of play it like this. There you go. Did a little one. Question 17. What does the German or Dutch word berg mean in English? As in, I guess, iceberg. Fatberg is something they talk about in London in particular. Berg just means mountain. So an iceberg is an ice mountain, I guess. Makes sense. So the answer to question 17, berg means mountain. Question 18, in espionage, a sleeper agent is also sometimes referred to as which animal? It is, of course, a mole. Question 19, campanology is the study of what? It's the study of bells, bell ringing, bell playing. Anything to do with bells is fine. In fact, if you go to the National Carillon, which is in Canberra, it's on a little island sticking out into Lake Burley Griffin. There's a car park nearby where you can stop, and there is a specific parking space which has a sign saying campanologist parking only, which I guess is for the person who is working at the National Carillon on that day, which is like a huge stack of bells that rings, and there must be I guess an on-call campanologist who needs to park there. Anyway, so the answer to 19 is bells. And for question 20, the band The Village People, the Village People has had various members over the years, but they've always been portrayed as 6 major characters. For half a point each, name the 6 characters. Okay, here we go. So the first one is the cop or the admiral. That's kind of one character. Policeman, admiral. Most commonly policeman. The second one is a Native American. I guess you could say Red Indian if you want to be less politically correct. The third one is a GI or sailor. So that's kind of a soldier, military kind of character. The fourth one is a construction worker. The fifth one is a cowboy. And the sixth one is a biker or leather man. So as long as you got something in that pool of answers, so we'll go through them again. The first one is a cop or admiral or policeman, whatever you like. Second one is a Native American or a Red Indian. Third one is a GI or a soldier or a sailor. Fourth one is a construction worker. Fifth one is a cowboy. And the sixth one is a biker or a leather man. So it's a biker who wears leather and studs and spikes and stuff. So there you go. Snuffly nose. Let me know how you went in round 1. 8 points from Pure Art. And Simone says, theremin is the instrument in the Beach Boys song Good Vibrations. That's true. I think they also have cellos and all kinds of stuff in that. If you watch the movie about Brian Wilson writing Good Vibrations and kind of losing his mind, trying to get the exact sound he had in his head to come out on tape. 13 points from Elated Matt. 16 points from Simone. Norel, 15.5. Stephen, 13. I believe in you, Stephen. You can do it in round 2. 17 from Nikki. 18 from Ads. Very good. I don't know how the comments are going to arrive. I get some people message me their scores, and with the weirdness that's just happened with Facebook, I don't know how that's going to work. 19 from Joan. That's pretty good. And 7.5 from Caroline. But you did turn up pretty late, so you might have missed a few. That's all right. I don't know if we've got comments or what. Maybe my phone will buzz if you message me. Oh, here we go. 17 from Peter and 18 from Gail and Lance. Okay, we have got messages. All right. Sorry, Facebook changed the interface on me. They made it mandatory, and it's fine. I'm working it out. I'm just having to do it on the fly. Okay, so that's pretty good. 14 from Kim and 14 from the Frawleys. Shocking, says Caroline. That's all right. You'll do better in the second round, I'm sure. All right, let's press on to the second round. Traditionally more difficult, but who knows? I guess we'll find out. Round 2, question 1. Which author from Sydney wrote the novels Ice Station, Contest, Temple, and The Three Secret Cities? So round 2, question 1. Which author from Sydney wrote the novels Ice Station, Contest, Temple, and The Three Secret Cities? Question 2. What was the name of the gorilla who died in 2018, apparently knowing over 1,000 gestures of a modified sign language system? I just realized there was another famous gorilla who died around then. When did that one die? That other famous one died in a different year, so that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, it's bad, but question 2, what was the name of the gorilla who died in 2018, apparently knowing over 1,000 gestures of a modified sign language system? She was pretty famous for the sign language thing. She apparently also understood over 2,000 spoken English words and at one stage adopted and named a pet kitten. There you go. But what was the name of the gorilla? Question 3. IMDb is one of the world's largest websites, but what does IMDb stand for? Question 3. IMDb, Indigo, Mike, Delta, Bravo. I'm doing great with my NATO phonetic alphabet tonight. IMDb is one of the world's busiest websites, but what does IMDb stand for? Let you think about those 3 for a moment while I sip my delicious drink. Okay, question 4. What is the southernmost country in Scandinavia? Question 4. What is the southernmost country in Scandinavia? Okay, question 5. In photography, what is the name of the hole which allows a certain amount of light to reach the film or image sensor? Question 5. In photography, what is the name of the hole which allows a certain amount of light to reach the film or image sensor? It's an adjustable size hole you adjust with the settings of your camera, but this has a particular name, that hole. It's not just the light hole. Right. I'm just looking at my map of Scandinavia to make sure that I am understanding my question correctly. Yep, all good. Question 6. England have only won the World Cup in football once. In which year? Question 6. England have only won the World Cup in football once. In which year? Question 7. What is the main alcoholic ingredient of a martini? Question 7. What is the main alcoholic ingredient of a martini? And by martini, I mean the standard, traditional, original martini, not any of the weird, fancy, modern ones. You know, standard martini, what's it made from? If the drink you're thinking of has a word in front of the word martini, it's probably not a normal martini. So question 7, what is the main alcoholic ingredient of a martini? Not a huge fan of martinis, I have to say. Not that I've tried a huge number of them, but yeah, anyway. Question 8, the Hoover Dam is on the border of which 2 American states? For 1 point each. Why not? Question 8, the Hoover Dam is on the border of which 2 American states? Couple of geography questions so far, I think. So here we go. Question 9. Which Disney film features a pet rooster called Hey Hey? H-E-I, H-E-I. Hey Hey, hee hee, hi hi. Spot the person who hasn't seen this Disney film. Question 9. Which Disney film features a pet rooster called Hey Hey? I'm going to go with H-E-I, H-E-I. Right. Question 10. Who starred in the films Biloxi Blues, War Games, and Ladyhawke? Yes, it's an 80s movies question. Deal with it. Question 10. Who starred in the films Biloxi Blues, War Games, and Ladyhawke? Haven't seen Biloxi Blues, but War Games and Ladyhawke were two very formative films of my childhood. Question 10. Who starred in the films Biloxi Blues, War Games, and Ladyhawke? Activity on the Facebook page. Question 11. How many pillars of Islam are there? Question 11. How many pillars of Islam are there? So these are fundamental religious things, I guess. There's a certain number of them. So question 11. How many pillars of Islam are there? Pillars as in, columns. Things that hold things up. Pillars. Question 12. Who was the author of the epic poems The Odyssey and the Iliad? Question 12. Who was the author of the epic poems The Odyssey and the Iliad? It's about this time every week when I say, maybe round 2 is a little difficult this week, but who knows? It's very difficult to judge. We'll find out when the scores come out. Question 13. The southernmost coastline of the Black Sea is in which country? Question 13. The southernmost coastline of the Black Sea is in which country? Quite a few geography questions, but they're all fairly tricky, I think. Right. Question 14. An amalgam is an alloy of 2 or more metals, but one of the metals must be what? So an alloy is basically any 2 metals mixed together, but in order to be called an amalgam, one of the metals must be a particular metal. What is that metal? I've not explained that very well. Question 14. An amalgam is an alloy of 2 or more metals, and in order to be called an amalgam, one of the metals must be what? Every amalgam must contain this metal. I'm sure you can assemble a reasonable question in your mind based upon all those attempts. So question 14, an amalgam is an alloy of 2 or more metals, and in order to be called an amalgam, it must contain which metal? There you go. That one works. Question 15. Puccini's Madame Butterfly is set in which country? Question 15. Puccini's Madame Butterfly is set in which country? Is Madame Butterfly an opera, or is it just a play? I think it's an opera. Madame Butterfly is an opera in 3 acts by Giacomo Puccini. There you go. It's an opera, says Narelle. Fair enough. My culture extends to crappy 80s movies, not highfalutin butterfly-based operas. Question 16. What was the name of the B-29 super that dropped an atomic bomb on? Question 16. What was the name of the B-29 superfortress that dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima? Did we not record the name of the one that dropped the bomb on Nagasaki? Anyway, what was the name of the plane? We lost Ag, says Ads. Anybody else missing me? YouTube's not telling me that I'm disconnected, so I'm assuming I'm still connected. And I still have the internet. Do I still have the internet? Yes, more or less. Yes, still have the internet. It cut out during question 16. Okay, I can repeat question 16. No problemo. Question 16 was, what was the name of the B-29 superfortress that dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima? I have messages from people. We were just buffering here too. Okay, must be some sort of internet glitch. The piece of wet string that connects my house to the internet must have had a leaf land on or something. So question 16 was, what was the name of the B-29 superfortress that dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima? So the plane had a name. We know the bombs had names. We've asked those questions in the past. But the plane itself had a name as well. And I was wondering to myself, why don't we know the name of the plane that dropped the one on Nagasaki? Don't know. Answers on a postcard. Question 17. In the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, what is Charlie's surname? Question 17. In the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, what is Charlie's surname? So people are reporting that the link has fixed itself up again, so that's good. We were just buffering here, says Gail, but seems to be good now. Question 18. One of the biggest hit singles of 2017 was titled Despacito by Luis Fonsi and remixed by Justin Bieber. What does Despacito translate to in English? Excuse me, Despacito is Despasito, Despacito, by Luis Fonsi and remixed by Justin Bieber. But what does Despacito translate to in English? I'm Googling the answer because I think I already know what it is, but yes, good. I have it spelled wrong. It's actually Despacito. 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 What does Despacito translate to in English? Question 19. From 1949 to 1945, which city hosted trials of German officials accused of war crimes? Question 19. From 1949 to 1945, which city hosted trials of German officials accused of war crimes? They're called the something trials. Yeah, I've got them down from 1949 to 1945, which seems unlikely given they were after the Second World War. Anyway, let's just say, after the Second World War, which city hosted trials of German officials accused of war crimes? So they were known as the something trials. Let's go with that. Right. I'm going to think about that question. And in the meantime, here's question 20. In which country was Kai Tak replaced by Chet Lapcock? So question 20. In which country was Kai Tak, Kai space TAK, replaced by Chet Lapcock, CHET space LAP space KOK? So 20. In which country was Kai Tak replaced by Chet Lapcock? And no, I'm not telling you what they are. Right. I'm just going to very quickly look up this Nuremberg trial thing because I'm not super confident in my info on that question for some reason. So while you're thinking about your answers to round 2, I'll be thinking about the answers to this question. Let me know if you need any questions repeated from round 2 while we're at it. Okay, so it seems like, yeah, all right. So it seems like the courts were opened in 1942, and they continued until 1946. So fine. So question 19 is basically just post Second World War, or during and after the Second World War, which city hosted trials of German officials accused of war crimes? It's known as the something trials. I think that's clear enough. I did say the blank trials, did I? Or did I actually give the answer? Oh, well. Anyway, bonus point for everybody. If I gave the answer away, then I guess I'll have to watch the replay and see if I did. Anyway, let's go through the answers to round 2, if nobody needs them repeated. Did I really give the answer to that question? Ah, well. Just as well, points are not redeemable for cash. All right, let's go through the answers to round 2. No one seems to need any repeated. So question 1, my phone's buzzing. I didn't give the answer. Okay, good. Well, we'll find out anyway. Question 1, which author from Sydney wrote the novels Ice Station, Contest, Temple, and the Three Secret Cities? That is, of course, Matthew Riley. I think we've had him as a Who Am I in the past, actually. Question 2, what was the name of the gorilla who died in 2018, apparently knowing over 1,000 gestures of a modified sign language system? Her name was Hanabiko, but she was commonly known as Koko, K-O-K-O. So if you had Hanabiko or Koko, she was a Western lowland gorilla. There you go. Question 3, IMDb is one of the world's busiest websites. What does IMDb stand for? Well, it's the Internet Movie Database. It's got lots of movie information in it. It's very useful for writing trivia questions, I can tell you that. Question 4, what is the southernmost country in Scandinavia? Well, Scandinavia is generally regarded as being Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, and sometimes Finland, but generally not. It's just Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. And the southernmost of those is Denmark. It's all the islandy bits down the bottom. So the answer to question 4 is Denmark. Question 5, in photography, what is the name of the hole which allows a certain amount of light to reach the film or the image sensor? That is the aperture. A-P-E-R-T-U-R-E, the aperture. You can change the size, and it changes the way the light travels through the lens and all that cool stuff. Question 6. England have only won the World Cup in football once. In which year? It was 1966. Question 7. What is the main alcoholic ingredient of a martini? It's going to be some grumpiness about this. It is gin, usually with a smaller amount of vermouth. Usually they just swirl the glass with vermouth, throw the vermouth away, and then fill it with gin. If you're thinking of a vodka martini, that's the reason why it's called a vodka martini, is because it's weird and special and it's got vodka in it. But if you just order a martini, it will be made with gin. Question 8. Vermouth is in them, but vermouth is not the main alcoholic ingredient. Just as well, because vermouth tastes very strong, I will say. You just need a whiff of it in the glass. Question 8. The Hoover Dam is on the border of which 2 American states? It's on the border of Nevada and Arizona. Nevada and Arizona for a point each, I think we decided. Question 9. Which Disney film features a pet rooster called Hey Hey or Hi Hi? That is Moana, M-O-A-N-A, Moana. Question 10. Who starred in the films Biloxi Blues, War Games, and Ladyhawke? That is Matthew Broderick. I'm sure he's done lots of good stuff since then, but he was in all those 3 things. Okay, question 11. How many... Narelle says, I did drink vermouth straight. Wow, you're very brave. Question 11. How many pillars of Islam are there? There are 5. The 5 pillars of Islam. And they are, in short, faith, prayer, charity, fasting, and pilgrimage to Mecca. So the answer to question 11 is 5 pillars of Islam. Yes, I mean, he was also in Ferris Bueller, but if I said Ferris Bueller's Day Off, it would have been a dead giveaway, wouldn't it? Yeah, Peter's saying the Nuremberg trials, which I have now given the answer to, were 1945. I don't know. Read the page. It's not as simple as it seems, unfortunately. Question 12. Who is the author of the epic poems, the Odyssey and the Iliad? Okay, now we're just saying Bueller in the comments. The author of those 2 epic poems is, of course, Homer, not Homer Simpson. Homer, the Greek poet. Question 13. The southernmost coastline of the Black Sea is in which country? Pretty much the whole bottom of the Black Sea is in Turkey. Question 14. An amalgam is an alloy of 2 or more metals. It must contain what to be called an amalgam? It must contain mercury. You often get amalgam fillings, and they're based on mercury or contain mercury. Bueller, anyone? I watched that film not that long ago with my kids, actually. Question 15. Puccini's Madame Butterfly is set in which country? That is Japan. Question 16. Slightly unfortunately following along after that one. What was the name of the B-29 superfortress that dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima? It was the Enola Gay. And Peter says Boxcar or Box, I think, was the bomber of Nagasaki. Interesting that that's not as well known as the one from Hiroshima. Anyway, the answer to question 16 is the Enola Gay, E-N-O-L-A space G-A-Y. I guess it's gay as in happy, and Enola is probably the name of a girl. Question 17. In the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, what is Charlie's surname? It is Bucket. Charlie Bucket. Strange, but there you go. Question 18. One of the biggest hit singles of 2017 is Despacito. What does Despacito translate to in English? It is slowly. Despacito means slowly. Question 19. Which city hosted trials of German officials accused of war crimes? That was, of course, Nuremberg, as in the Nuremberg trials. I'll leave it as an exercise for the listener to go and dig through the wiki page and see exactly what time frame is involved. but certainly one of the main targets was Hermann Goering, and he was certainly involved in the Second World War. So anyway, Nuremberg trials. And question 20, in which country was Kai Tak replaced by Chet Lap Kok? Did you get this? They are international airports. Kai Tak is the old international airport. It was replaced by Chet Lap Kok, which is the name of the island that the new international airport is on. It is, of course, in Hong Kong. However, it happened in 1998, which is after Hong Kong ceded control back to China. So if you said China, you can have the point. Let's not get into too much politics. If you had Hong Kong or China, that's fine. All right, that's the end of round 2. Slightly shambolic. Let me know how you went. Pure got 7, which is not too shabby. Ad's got 11. Nikki got 13. Not too bad for a newbie. Kim got 13. Simone got 10. $13 again from elated Matt. So yes, slightly difficult this week, I think. 13 for Gail and Lance. 12 for Peter. There you go. Let's look up the name of the bomber of Nagasaki. It was Boxcar. There you go. Weirdly spelled Boxcar. B-O-C-K-S-C-A-R. B-29 Boxcar. That is a strange name. Anyway. Joan got 12. Narelle got 11. Stephen 10. Narelle is 3.5 in front as we come into the third round. And Caroline got 6. Not too shabby. And Carmen got 9. Carmen and John, isn't it? Mental blank. I'm a bit confuzzled by my the Nuremberg question has threw me off a bit. All right, let's go through to round 3. Yes, let's see how we go in this one. All right, round 3. And I remind you that this is traditionally our quite difficult round. So if you don't do very well, that's fine. If you get any points, you're doing pretty well. Question 1. According to the official FIFA rules, yes, John, hello, John. According to the official FIFA rules, a soccer goalkeeper cannot keep hold of the ball for more than how many seconds? That's a pretty good round 3 question. According to the FIFA official rules, a soccer goalkeeper cannot keep hold of the ball for more than how many seconds? And I'm reading about the Boxcar plane that dropped the bomb on Nagasaki. It's now on permanent display at the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Dayton, Ohio. I have been to that museum. There you go. There's not a whole lot else in Dayton, Ohio, I've got to tell you that. Question 2. What was the name of the shipwrecked boat in Gilligan's Island? They had a 3-hour tour that turned into much longer. Question 2. What was the name of the shipwrecked boat in Gilligan's Island? Question 3. Which word is used for a type of Greek column and a type of chemical bond? Question 3. Which word is used for a type of Greek column and a type of chemical bond? Got to know your Greek columns. I think the Greek columns are symbolic of particular schools of Greek architecture, which is why they're so important. But one of them shares the same name as a type of chemical bond. Question 4. Which Australian musician had his only #1 hit with Jesse's Girl in 1981? Question 4. Which Australian musician had his only #1 hit with Jesse's Girl in 1981? I know that song. I did not know he was an Australian musician until I wrote that question. Simone says, the professor could build a nuclear reactor with bamboo and coconuts, but he couldn't fix a hole in a boat. Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? The master of all that stuff was, of course, MacGyver. I used to love MacGyver when I was a kid, but man, the show has not aged very well. And I'm not talking about the remake with the little kid in it now. I'm talking about the original one. It really hasn't aged very well. At one point, he fixes a nuclear reactor with a Mars bar. Oh, man. Anyway, I used to love that show when I was a kid. So question 4 was, which Australian musician had his only #1 hit with Jesse's Girl in 1981? Okay. Peter is providing additional hints which can be given to you later. Question 5. The Big Cigar is a landmark in which Victorian town? Simone says, Ginger packed a trunk full of clothes for a 3-hour cruise. Okay, Simone's thought about this a lot. Question 5, all the big cities, the big things in various towns around Australia, the big trout, the big merino, etc. The Big Cigar is a landmark in which Victorian town? Doesn't seem very politically correct to have a big cigar nowadays, but anyway. Question 6. Edge Hill, Marston Moor, and Naseby were major battles during which war? Question 6. Edge Hill, Marston Moor, and Naseby were major battles of which war? Oh, I watched the Terminator Dark Fate movie last night. I thought it was pretty good. It's, apparently James Cameron regards it as the true sequel to Terminator 2 because he lost the rights to the films or whatever during the other 3 films were made. Yeah, it's pretty good. Lots of things exploding, unstoppable killer robots in the future. What more do you want? Question 7. Katachuta, K-A-T-A-T-J-U-T-A, Katachuta is the Aboriginal name for which geological formation? I guess what I'm asking there is, what's the English name or what's the Western name? I guess English name, yeah. What's the English name for the geological formation which has the Aboriginal name Katachuta? I enjoyed it, said Narelle. I guess that's in reference to the Terminator film. I thought it was pretty good. Good to see Arnie back again. Question 8. Norse mythology describes a series of future events, including a great battle in which several major gods will be killed, the occurrence of various natural disasters, and ultimately the rebirth and repopulation of the world. What name is given to this series of events? So Norse mythology describes a series of future events, including a great battle in which several major gods will be killed, the occurrence of various natural disasters, and ultimately the rebirth and repopulation of the world. What name is given to this series of events? Basically, what's the Norse version of the end of the world story? And the cool thing about Norse mythology is it's not actually clear whether this stuff is happening in the future or in the past. It's sort of both. They're telling about all these things that will happen, but they also tell about the world being kind of the end result of these things that will happen in the future. So they've already happened. Anyway, it has a one-word name for the Norse mythology end of the world story. You will have heard of it. If you can't think of it, you'll know what it is in a few minutes. Question 9. Which cotton-based textile takes its name from a city on India's Malabar coast? Simone says, I think it's happening now. Well, I heard someone have a theory the other day that the end of the world has already happened, but there's just a prolonged sort of spinning down time that we're in the middle of at the moment, which I hope isn't true. But anyway, question 9 was, which cotton-based textile takes its name from a city on India's Malabar coast? So we want the name of a cotton-based textile. And question 10, Vivid Sydney is an annual art and lighting festival. In which year was it first held? And for a bonus point, which musician and composer was the festival's curator in its first year? So question 10, Vivid Sydney is an annual art and lighting festival. In which year was it first held? And for a bonus point, which musician and composer was the festival's curator in its first year? I'm guessing it didn't happen this year, or if it did, it would have been in a very curtailed form. The last few years, I've gone to Vivid and I've skated around the city with a bunch of fellow rollerblader, skatey type people. We all wear glowing suits and lights and all kinds of cool stuff like that. And we sort of become a like a rolling exhibit of Vivid. It's pretty cool. Anyway, that's the last question in round 3. If you need any of those repeated, let me know. Otherwise, I'll go through the answers in about 28 seconds. My ice has melted. Don't you love these glasses? Stemless wine glasses. Brilliant. Right. Looks like nobody needs any of those repeated. So we'll go through the answers to these, and then we'll have our 2 Who Am I's at the end. And then that'll be the end of the night. 8:42 p.m. Made a reasonable time. All right, so here we go. Round 3, question 1. We're going through the answers now. Round 3, question 1. According to FIFA, a soccer goalkeeper cannot keep hold of the ball for more than how many seconds? It is 6 seconds. The answer is 6 seconds, although the rule is rarely enforced unless blatant time wasting is occurring. There you go. The answer is 6 seconds. Question 2, what was the name of the shipwrecked boat in Gilligan's Island? It was the SS Minnow, M-I-N-N-O-W, Minnow meaning a small fish, I guess. The SS Minnow. Question 3, which word is used for a type of Greek column and a type of chemical bond? The answer is ionic. You can have ionic bonds and covalent bonds, and you can have ionic columns and Doric columns. And what's the third one? Corinthian columns? Is that the third type of column? Anyway, the answer to question 3 is ionic. I-O-N-I-C. Isn't it ionic, don't you think? Question 4, which Australian musician had his only #1 hit with Jessie's Girl in 1981? That was Rick Springfield. Rick Springfield, who was born in South Wentworthville, New South Wales. There you go. I had no idea that was an Australian song. He's now lives in the States. He's been an actor in all kinds of movies and TV shows and things. Gone on to do other things, but yes, Rick Springfield. Corinthian is correct, says Norel. Nice one, Reptile Brain. Okay, question 5. The Big Cigar is a landmark in which Victorian town? If you didn't know the answer, you're going to be kicking yourself because the answer is Churchill. Question 5. The Big Cigar is a landmark in which Victorian town? It is Churchill, as in Winston Churchill. In fact, the town used to be called something else, and they renamed it after Winston Churchill after he died. So there you go. Simone says, Rick was a spunk. He probably still is. He played some doctor on some like General Hospital TV show or something like that, I think. Question 6. Edge Hill, Marston Moor, and Naseby were major battles of which war? That was the First English Civil War. If you had English Civil War, you can have the point. That's fine. But it was specifically the First English Civil War, which was from 1642 to 1646. There you go. So it's between the Roundheads and the... Anyway, Oliver Cromwell was one of the guys involved. Question 7. Kata Tjuta, K-A-T-A-T-J-U-T-A. Kata Tjuta is the Aboriginal name for which geological formation? Well, I guess the English name is the Olgas. E-O-L-G-A-S, the Olgas. There's, quite striking rock formations, lumpy round boulders. Anyway, the answer is the Olgas. Question 8, Norse mythology, etc., etc. The answer is Ragnarok. So the end of the world, the end and rebirth of the world, you could say, in Norse mythology is Ragnarok. Not Gotterdammerung, that's a specific other thing. So the Great Battle, etc. The answer to question 8 is Ragnarok. I think there was a film recently, Thor Ragnarok. Anyway, that's where it gets its name from. Question 9. Which cotton-based textile takes its name from a city on India's Malabar coast? That is calico. C-A-L-I-C-O. Calico is a cotton-based textile. Takes its name from a city on India's Malabar coast. I did not know that. I did not know India had a Malabar coast. Malabar is a suburb of northern suburbs in Sydney, as far as I'm aware. Anyway. And question 10, the last normal question for the night. Vivid Sydney is an annual art and lighting festival. In which year was it first held? 2009. And for a bonus point, which musician and composer was the festival's curator in its first year? That was Brian Eno of Music for Airports, among many, many other things. There you go. So 2009 and Brian Eno. Peter got 7. That's pretty good. Let me know how you went. Simone can draw herself away from her memories of Rick Springfield and add her points together. Caroline got 1. Well, that's round 3. Kim got 4. Anne's got 1. Brian Eno was in Roxy Music. That's true, but I think of him more as the inventor of ambient music. But we're not going to argue. Nikki got 2, which was 2 more than last week. Well, that's round 3 for you. Joan got 5. Later, Matt got 5. Pierre got 1, which may be a new personal best for round 3. Simone got 3. Noel got 5. Did Stephen pull that out of the bag in round 3? No, he got 2. And Joan got 5. Twice. And Galen Lance got 4. Peter got a total of 36 out of a possible total of some number larger than 36, presumably. Pierrot says his personal best is 5. Total, Narelle 31.5, Stephen 25. Bit of a drubbing, has to be said. Short-lived championship. Well, there's always next week. Carmen got 2 in round 3 for a total of 25. Joan got a total of 36. Good, good, good. Right then, Galen Lance got 4, in case I didn't already say that. All right, let's move on to our Who Am I's to end the evening. So the way this works is I'm going to read out some clues about a person, place, thing, year, object, skin condition. Who knows what it'll be. As I go along, if you think you know the answer, have a crack at it. If you get it right, then you win the tiebreaker if you happen to be in a tiebreaker situation. But if you get it wrong, then the other person wins. You lose the tiebreaker if you get it wrong. So you want to be quick, but you need to be correct. And because game theory is for wimps, I'm going to have 2 tiebreakers, which could obviously result in a further tiebreak required, in which case you have to settle it on your own terms with pointy sticks. Okay, let's Everybody's messaging me. People are messaging me about hockey things, not trivia things. Okay, good. All right, so let's do the first Who Am I? Which one will I do? I'll do this one. Who am I? I was once described by Clive James as charming as a dead mouse in a loaf of bread. I was born in 1959 in Wiesbaden, West Germany. My father was stationed there with the United States Air Force. In 1960, we moved to New York City, where my father worked as an advertising agent and then a lawyer. I grew up in Queens and have often been quoted as saying, I can't remember when I began playing or even when I began learning my chosen sport. But it is known that I played at the Douglaston Club at the age of 8 and began playing regional tournaments at the age of 9. As an 18-year-old amateur in 1977, I won the mixed doubles at the French Open with Mary Carrillo, and then made it through to the semi-finals of the main draw at Wimbledon and was defeated by Jimmy Connors. In 1987, I won 5 titles. I was ranked number 1 in the world for 4 straight years from 1981 to 1985. I am credited with reviving US interest in the Davis Cup. After retirement and to the present day, I have been a tennis commentator for the BBC and various American networks. I was married to Tatum O'Neal and more recently the rocker Patti Smith. I am, of course, the original bad boy of tennis, John McEnroe. Yes, I'm John McEnroe. I think Carmen got that one. Peter got that one as well. Very good. I do like the description as charming as a dead mouse in a loaf of bread. Clive James, he's got a wonderful way with words. How's Clive James going? I know he's been very unwell recently. He passed away at the end of last year. Darn it! Yes, he passed away on the 24th of November 2019. Well, that's a shame. Anyway, right, let's move on. So we're going to do another Who Am I? Same rules as last time. Simone says, you cannot be serious. He died. Which are probably not as related as they seem in the chat. Okay. Who am I? I am a heritage listed location. I am approximately 120 kilometers long and 24 kilometers wide. I have been inhabited by humans for at least 5,000 years. According to the 2011 census, my human resident population was 194. I contain over 100 freshwater lakes. I am named after a shipwreck survivor. Current estimates have the resident dingo population at 220. I am Australia's 6th largest island. I am the largest island in Queensland and the largest island on the east coast of Australia. I am, in fact, the largest sand island in the world. I am located off the coast of Queensland, near Maryborough and Hervey Bay. My Aboriginal name is Kagari. I am Fraser Island. I am Fraser Island. 100 freshwater lakes, 194 humans, and 220 dingoes. Sounds like a fun place. Looks like Carmen got that one that time as well. Kim went for Stradbroke. Nope, Fraser Island. Peter got that one as well. Okay, there we are. It's the end of round 3. Well, it's the end of the Who Am I's, which is kind of round 4. So that's the end of the night. Hope you had fun. Caroline says, I saw a dingo there. I saw a dingo. The dingo took my baby. I see that she's been back in the news recently, actually. Anyway, Frawley's got the clean sweep of Who Am I? That's right. All right. Goodbye, Simone. No worries, Joan. Hope to see you next week. I do have a hockey tournament over the long weekend. That finishes on Monday, so I should be capable of conducting a conversation again by Tuesday night. I may be slightly broken, as often happens. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Tune in to the Facebook page, virtual Aussie pub quiz if you want to be informed of future events. Otherwise, see you next week. Have fun, stay safe, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.